Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moon Mage. This is Pick a Card Tarot Messages connected to the new moon happening in Sagittarius. This is the last new moon of 2025, so it packs a bit of a punch. I always tell everyone, if you're not interested in hearing a brief overview about the energies that this lunation is bringing in, go ahead and pick your message. Look at the thumbnail without overthinking it, using your intuition to see which card rather is speaking to you, and just receive your message. But for the rest of you that are interested in what this kind of energy is ushering in under this Sagittarian new moon, it is essentially a go for it type of energy. It's sort of like having faith in what you can't see, trusting your gut, trusting where you've been inspired to go, getting inspired essentially, and just saying, okay, I'm going to move in this direction. I don't know how it's all going to turn out. It's very action oriented without having all the information. Again, it's that energy of I'm just going to follow where I'm being guided to go without knowing how it's all going to turn out. Faith over fear is a lot of the energy that this new moon in Sagittarius brings in. It offers the opportunity essentially to renovate our commitment to living more authentically and following our true paths. It's great for setting intentions for the new year ahead, planting new seeds for what we want to see happen in 2026. All new moons offer fresh starts, the ability to set intentions and plant new seeds, but we need to be clear about it normally. Sagittarius says, we don't necessarily need you to be clear and have a full blueprint. We just need you to be inspired to act. And it's that kind of fun, exciting, exhilarating energy that this lunation can usher in. It's very spontaneous, following spontaneity. Again, even when we can't be certain of how things are going to turn out. Now, it does come with some crunchy energy. All lunations do. This could potentially highlight some old insecurities that we have. And it also could make us start thinking in terms of destination rather than journey. So we might get hyper fixated and focus on how far we would have to go to follow our dream, all the steps in between, and lose sight of who we're going to become along the journey, and the excitement of starting something new and trusting ourselves to do so. So we have to be mindful of that, getting hyper focused on the gap between where we are and where we want to go, and our insecurities telling us why we can't do it, have it, follow it, etc. It's like that. There's also a lot of planetary energy that's connecting to relationships over the next couple of weeks that kick off with this new moon. So areas of relationship, romance, partnership, and just overall connections in general, family, friends, can really be highlighted under this lunation and then carry forward for the next couple of weeks. So those are areas that could be really coming up to the surface for a lot of you at this time. I'm just going to check my notes to see if there's anything that I need to touch on here that I haven't. Oh, I should also bring about or rather mention that this new moon can also highlight some conflict. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be true for all of us, but the potential's there. It's sort of like passion bumping up against somebody else's passion, their idea of what we should do. This lunation really calls for us to have boundaries, because we can overgive under this new moon in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius energy in general. We can overgive, deplete ourselves, drain ourselves of energy. So we need to have some healthy boundaries put in place at this time, especially if we're being pulled by other people to do for them. Being mindful of not being an overgiver under this lunation. We really need to create some space for ourselves. There's an inside job that wants to happen here, where we really want to look at ourselves and say, what am I renovating in my life? What commitment to myself have I put on the back burner? And am I ready to start actually making some progress towards? So it's really beautiful for that kind of energy. But again, we need to be careful about the unpredictability, potential conflicts, especially if they're old conflicts. They could come back to the surface at this time. And I always say this, but we don't have to necessarily engage. We can remove ourselves from them and say, I'm done with that. That was then, this is now, I'm moving forward from it. So there is that potential there too. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. But those are essentially the kinds of energies that this lunation is bringing in. I'm sure there's lots of other little bits and pieces that I haven't touched on, but just keep those in mind as we go about the messages. So now would be a great time for you to have a look at that thumbnail or the intro, feel into which message is calling to you, and I will get started here with message number 1. Hello, message one. I went ahead and pulled the three main overarching energies coming in at the time of this lunation for you, just to save a little bit of time in the video, but I haven't looked at them yet, so we'll look at them together. Okay, back and forth. Indecision makes it hard for you to get real traction. Make a firm decision. Okay, I say this a lot, but I feel like when we're afraid to make a solid decision, it's because we're afraid of making the wrong decision, right? We kind of want to guarantee, we really get stuck in certainty. I need certainty that this is going to be the right decision. And it's just basically telling us we're not trusting ourselves as much as we should be. So this is something to consider. If you're going back and forth on what you should do, take a minute to connect to your heart, to your gut. What is it telling you? What is the feeling when you feel into each decision, actually? Because your body will usually have a response that either feels exciting or a little bit fearful. So maybe give yourself over to that kind of energy to help you make a decision. And just remind yourself, I'm only stuck because I fear what could come from making the wrong decision. I trust myself. I trust myself to navigate whatever comes my way. Yeah. Make a firm decision. You'll feel a lot better too once you've just decided, because you can breathe out and start moving towards acting on whatever that decision was. Okay, we've got moon memories and the past. So this is coming out in the challenge position here for you guys. Something from the past is probably affecting your ability to make a decision. It could be where you perceive mistakes. It could be where there was pain or loss of some kind, and you just don't want to, you fear making those kind of mistakes again, or experiencing pain of some kind again, causing you to be like, well, I'm just going to keep going back and forth in decision rather than make one, because I don't ever want to feel like that again. Something to keep in mind there. Looking at the past, allowing yourself to really face that shadowy part and say, what am I still carrying from the past that is acting as a massive block to me right now to move forward? Because this new moon wants to see all of us planting new seeds, setting new intentions with passion and trust, right? That fiery Sagittarian energy. Oh, release blocks, the falling moon. That's what we were just talking about. Yeah, something from the past is acting as a block to your decisiveness now, to your decision making. And again, it's usually something to do with a pain from the past, a loss that you experienced, a mistake that you perceived that you made, and you're beholding yourself to all of these things. There's a pattern operating from those energies that's carrying forward for you now, and we need to look at that and let it go. Again, it's about coming back to trust in yourself, I feel here, message one. I feel like, too, maybe some of you aren't giving yourself enough credit for having learned from past mistakes. I really feel like for so many of you, you have learned so much through trial and tribulation in your life, and you're coming into a time when you can take the lessons and leave the rest behind. All right, let's see. Let's pull a surrender card for you guys. Something strange is going on with my lighting. I do apologize for anybody who is watching this and the lighting is really annoying going in and out. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Oop. Okay, that's too many cards, so we're not going to go with all those. That was 3. All right. There it is. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. Okay. Yeah. Kind of forgetting this part of yourself, like almost like it's been fragmented and you've put a big shadow over this part of yourself that's very empowered, very magical, very beautiful, very unique, probably because of something from the past. So we really need to disconnect from that narrative and that story, message one. It is blocking you from new energy, new beginnings, maybe new connections for some of you, or a beautiful new start in some aspect or area of your life. Because we're fearing it. Maybe somebody told you a story about you that simply isn't true, but you believed it. You adopted it as a truth about yourself, and it's just not. It's just not. And I feel like others do that to us when they recognize our beauty and our power, they kind of bring us down to make themselves feel better. And for whatever reason, I'm really stuck on that for a lot of you who chose message 1. All right, let's pull a fire card since this is fiery Sagittarian energy. What's coming for my beautiful message 1s? A lot of pink here too, which always makes me think about love, loving yourself, opening your heart. Yeah, just embodying the energy of love. Okay. Orange Dragon brings soul families and communities together. Spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. Ooh, see, I feel like that might be part of your magic. You are probably a very loving, kind-hearted, giving person, a nurturer, an empath, somebody who brings healing to people just by being yourself. A part of a part of you that has this piece, that holds that kind of energy, it feels like it's probably been very dimmed, but I feel like this new moon is going to give you an opportunity to see how you can show up more like this, embody this, because there's leadership here too, right? Somebody who is wise beyond their years, who makes people feel comfortable and safe in their presence. Again, you are probably blocking pieces of these aspects rather of yourself. And it's sort of like Spirit say, we need to bring them back out because it's connecting to a bunch of other things. New community, new friendships, a leadership role for you of some kind. Yeah, spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. And as a little aside note here for some of you, if there's been conflict or frustration within family units or just amongst your peers and a work aspect, it might be you that has the answers about how to solve this, or you might be the one that brings in the right kind of energy to bring this into resolution or peace. I don't think that's going to be for all of you, but I feel like there's somebody out there who is meant to do that. That can be a big undertaking, but I wouldn't be feeling it if you weren't entirely capable of this sort of thing. All right, let's pull some tarot cards here. Message 1. It's almost like the feeling I get for a lot of my message 1 is you really hold back, very controlled. You really hold parts and pieces of yourself back, almost like a certain type of vulnerability that others would really appreciate. And I feel like it would help them to feel seen more and understood more, but you hold back. Maybe you were also somebody who in your lifetime was told a lot that you're too sensitive, so you tried to rein that in. I feel like this is all energy that wants to come back online for you, essentially, especially moving forward into 2026, like it's going to be necessary for whatever reason. King of Fire, inspirational, charismatic, and innovative. And I feel like this is energy that you naturally have and can embody, but haven't been, because we're coming over here on the side of what's been challenging and what needs to be let go of, right? Surrendering to the magic of who you are, letting go of the past. Luck, progress, and change. This is the offering here for you guys. And look, it's connected to people, and it's like little children's faces too. You're very good at, I think, bringing people together more than you realize. Collective thinker, somebody who can really bring in a collective community together and get everybody working in harmony. The Empress, yep, you in the center. Creation, abundance, and action. There's something fertile in you that's growing or that wants to grow. Something that's been maybe inspired, activated, a desire, something that you're meant to build upon. And it's definitely connected to either family, community, or like a career community. And I feel like you're the one who leads the charge in some kind of way, but you've got inspiration, creativity, abundance coming in. And then there's that little word there, action, right? We don't want to sit on it once it comes in. We want to get decisive, not go back and forth anymore, and start trusting ourselves. And don't hold back on anything that's out of the box either, message 1. Say it, speak it out. It's probably going to be just the thing that everyone needs, yourself included. Okay, we've got the Seven of Earth in reverse. And it says investment, assessment, and patience. It's in the reverse. What are we cultivating? What are we trying to grow? Now, normally with the Seven of Earth upright, it's more about we need to be assessing, we need to be patient with things, but it's the opposite for you guys right now. Message one, this is like connected to decisiveness as well. So with it coming out in reverse, I feel like that's actually quite good. It's telling me that you're going to get decisive, you're going to choose. You've already invested wisely, you've already been very patient, and things are going to start to turn, right? Especially with that wheel over here. Luck, progress, change. Yes, I love this. Loving, giving, psychic, queen of water. Look at this. How beautifully balanced are you typically? This is your power. This is your magic. You're the one that can inspire, impassion others, lead others, fiery, passionate, king energy, taking action, moving forward, but with love, with intuition, with your magic, with that psychic ability, with that nurturing energy. This is you. This is what you can embody. Message one. You have a gorgeous, beautiful energy. But again, there's these pains from the past and blocks that stop you from fully embodying and encompassing this beautiful person that you are, this beautiful soul that you are. And you've also got the Empress in the center. I have to say, this feels quite lovely and soft. But I feel like the energies up here that stop this part of you from growing and expanding are heavy. So I know this is a hustle bustly time for a lot of us, but if you can even just carve out a little bit of time here and there to connect to the past and look at the things that still cause pain or evoke some sort of fear, guilt, even shame within you, it's time to let them go. You don't want to bring them forward with you because you've got luck and progress and change coming in. You've got this beautiful energy of, spreading belonging, warmth, being very heart-centered again, a leader of sorts. I feel like for some of you, you're going to be the person who heals something like almost like in a bloodline. It goes deep. And for others, it's like, it feels like a community, a career related community where you're going to somehow become some sort of leader, take on a higher role or something, because you've got the right heart and head to do it. Every day I focus on what is important. And when we're indecisive and overthinking, we lose focus, right? So that's a really big energy as well that comes in with this lunation. So maybe use it as a mantra for yourself. Every day I focus on what is important. I have a balanced relationship with time. I use time well. And it makes sense, right? Because we have action showing up right at the center, back and forth, make a firm decision, because there's abundance when you do. There's the wheel turning in your favor in progress. So yeah, it's time to start trusting yourself again. It's time to disconnect from these old stories and narratives. They are hindering your progress. They are not helping you. I have a balanced relationship with time. I use time well. It might be too that you're not necessarily somebody who loves that feeling of being under pressure and having to make very fast and furious decisions, feeling like you'd like to have more information. But again, I keep coming back to this, like, trust your gut. I think you have a very good intuition normally, an open third eye. I'm even feeling like kind of tingling in and around my ears. Like, I feel some of you might be more clairaudient than you realize. Like, you receive answers to things through sound or overheard conversations, through music. I think start trusting that and paying attention to that right now. I think it's going to be very beneficial. Now, I would be remiss to not pull an animal card under Sagittarian energy, since Sagittarius and Virgo energy really govern the animal kingdom. So we're going to use an animal card here to cap this off. Wow. Okay, we've got raccoon energy, and it says letting go. This message has to do with those things to which you cling, be it a thought form, habit, creed, or situation. The time has come from letting go. Something is halting your progress, and you are spinning your wheels. Once you embrace change, blessings will follow. Wow, that couldn't have tithed in better. to the entirety of this message. Yes, this. Maybe even take a little snapshot of that and read it back to yourself. It is time to let go and move forward. Your progress is being hindered. You have something new coming towards you. It's beautiful. It feels really good. I have to say, message one. Very expansive, very heart-centered, but we have to let go. We got to let go and let God and then move forward one foot in front of the other. That's a beautiful final message for you guys, and it makes so much sense. So give yourself some time and space for this. Create some boundaries so that you can get really connected to your soul, even just for a short while, a little bit here and there over the next few days and the coming week ahead. I think you're going to be surprised what shows up for you. All right, message one, I am going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. Take care. Hello to all my lovely message twos. I went ahead and pulled the main overarching energies, but we are going to look at them together. Upside down. Okay. We've got keep swimming. You are getting there, but it just takes time to arrive. You're in the flow. Ooh. This is when we can't always recognize that we're in flow, that things are happening deep beneath the surface and that we're doing the right things and making the right decisions, usually because we can't see any results. And so sometimes that can creep up on us and we can forget ourselves a little bit or get overwhelmed or start questioning, is this the right thing? Nothing's happening. But as this says, just keep swimming. You are doing the right things and you are in the flow. And it's going to take a bit of time and patience. So just a bit of a heads up. If you feel overwhelmed or if you feel like giving up on something, this is no, don't stop. Don't do that. Give yourself a rest. It's that energy of rest if you must, but don't quit. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Full moon and forgiveness. Okay. This could be acting as a part of the problem here with the, frustration because things aren't moving quickly or, trying to cultivate patience. We could be impatient with a person. Maybe for some of you, it's with a committed relationship or a relationship that you want to commit to. And for others, it could be that maybe somebody in a career setting, a family setting has done something that has hurt your heart in such a way that maybe you've taken your foot off the gas a little bit on something, or it's caused you to retreat within. And this is your call to look at that, lean into the energy of forgiveness. I always say, because it's not for you. It's not for the other person. It's for you. So it doesn't keep you stuck, because I keep coming back to stuck. I keep thinking of being stuck with something. Yeah. But it just takes time to arrive. Forgiveness. And I also think too, if some of you are going through a relationship type energy where things are healing, but there's still a little bit of, heavy energy there or a little bit of resentment. I have this feeling of if we can really lean into forgiveness, we can unstick the situation and things start moving faster, more exponentially. I'm not sure why I'm feeling relationship energy for some of this, because there's definitely an element of career, purpose, passion, doing something, but we've got a bit of a hang up here. And what are we holding on to where there's some anger and resentment? Oh, wow. Okay. Meant to be. So 2 things with this card. For some of you, I do think there's a relationship energy here, being patient within it, allowing things to heal, to progress, to become more balanced again or harmonious. But for others, this energy of whatever you're working hard on, whatever you're trying to make happen, whatever feels like it's just taking way too long and you're just kind of frustrated with that, it's meant to be. It's always going to be yours. It's destined. It will be yours. Again, it's just that energy of time and patience, holding on a little bit longer. Again, rest if you must, but don't quit. You're doing the right things. It's meant to be. All your hard work will pay off. Destined energy, I'm definitely feeling for you guys. Okay, let's pull some more cards here. What do my message 2 choosers need to surrender? What do they need to let go of? Oop. Oh, wow. That came out quickly. All right. Oof. Okay, surrender your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. And this Sagittarian energy is so good for cultivating faith over fear. So really lean in, message 2. There is positive change on the horizon. It is meant to be. You're in the flow. You're doing the right things, essentially. You're the healing work, whatever it is, you're doing good things. You just have to surrender that fear of change, that what if energy. It gets us all so much, right? We're so unafraid of what we can't be certain of or guarantee, but you're doing all the right things. Like even in the image, she's walking into the sun, right? Into lighter energy, better connection. But where do we need to forgive? Maybe for some of you, you need to forgive yourselves for something. Are you holding yourself hostage to a past mistake and you won't forgive yourself for it? You really hold on to it and it makes you feel like you have to be a certain thing or do a certain thing. Just give yourself over a little bit of time to look at those stories. Yeah, okay. Let's pull a dragon card to connect to that firing energy of Sagittarius. And you know, this, I feel like you're safe too. If some of you have been feeling unsafe or fearful, well, we know there's the fear, but you're safe. It says that you are cared for always. And that line's really standing out to me. I'm really pulled towards it. I think it's just my way of saying that if you feel like you're not protected, you are, by the invisible realm, mind you, but you are. Maybe calling in your angels for protection. Archangel Michael comes to mind. Asking him to cut, end, and sever any cords you have to fear or where you're not allowing yourself to forgive yourself or others. Earth and air dragon represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. Wow. Yeah, you're really being empowered right now. Something is meant to be. Something wants to come in. We're not taking our foot off the gas on this right now. We're going to continue moving forward and doing the work. Even though you can't see it all yet, it's coming. Stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. Yeah. And then change will come. So there's also a little bit of an underbelly message here for my group twos. You might be clinging to something that is also hindering the progress. We know that there's something with forgiveness here. That's part of the equation, and fear. That's part of the equation. But what specifically? What's the reason we're clinging on to that branch and we're afraid to let go? Give yourself some time to connect to that, because I feel like it could really unstick your situation and things will start moving quicker. No matter what this connects to, whether it's relationship or something that you're trying to cultivate, create, a dream, as this says. All right. We've got the Empress again. Creation, abundance, and action. But we're sitting over here on the side of what's been challenging. So you're entirely capable of embodying that Empress energy, creating fertility, manifestation. Excuse me. But there's something that's hindering this progress, right? Something with fear, something with forgiveness. But this is you typically. You have the ability to connect into your intuition, to manifestation power, to magical type energy. You know, message 2, you are likely somebody who's very creative. There's definitely a lot of creative energy with all that orange showing up, you know, manifesting something, staying grounded and balancing your visions. I definitely think that you have a lot of capacity to expand and grow anything that's connected to creativity. Nurturing energy, but you know, Empress too, I always think Empress energy is so connected into the heavens, really able to receive divine guidance. So all this is something that you are able to embody, but I don't think that you have been, right? Because we're over here on the side of challenge. Oh my goodness. Yeah. High Priestess, intuition, wisdom, patience. Again, with the patience, right? Just takes time. You're getting there. Intuition, wisdom, and patience. Highly intuitive normally, I think. But so much of the energy lately has been highlighting for the collective of how disconnected we've all become from these parts of ourselves, those quiet sixth senses. Like it's like we've severed our connection to that bigger, that that bigger energy of that divine force behind us, that little niggle, the intuition that tells us this way, that way. Like we've lost connection to trusting that. No exception here for you, message 2. It's time to bring this back online because these are powerful energies. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female either. They're just very hooked in to higher consciousness, and you have this ability to. And I didn't notice numbers in message 1, but I'm noticing it's 3 and then 2. Something about that. 3 is also highly creative number. Oh my goodness. Okay, 9 of fire. Protection, preparedness, and resilience. Yeah. I feel like you don't feel these energies are around you, but they really are. We talked about that. I definitely feel like you're being protected. And I was very pulled to that line. More orange energy too. You are meant to be moving with inspiration, passion, and gusto in a very big way. You are manifesting something. Now is not the time to take your foot off the gas pedal because something beautiful comes with it. And, you know, staying resilient and prepared is a really big message here for you guys. To keep going, you're so close, right? Things are meant to be for you. 7 of water. Well, here it is. Choices, overanalyzing, and procrastination. Overthinking, having our emotions get all tangled up in the situation. And we're emotional creatures. We're supposed to have feelings and emotions, but we do have to put discipline around them, right? Otherwise, they can take us down all kinds of different twists and turns that aren't really necessary for us to be looking at or overanalyzing. So really look at this part that is stopping your progress, the emotion that's getting involved, the fear, where we might be holding on to energy of lack of forgiveness. I'm definitely starting to think it's even more for your that you're not forgiving yourself for something. You want to get moving because you have massive manifesting ability right now and a lot of power to be tapped into. Okay, and we've got 8 of water in reverse. Okay, and it says searching, empowerment, and fulfillment. Now, typically, because of the way this read is coming out, we've got 7 of water and then 8 of water. And we've got the 9 here, so that's interesting. 7, 8, 9, and then 3, 2. I don't know why, but those numbers feel somewhat important. I feel like they're going to mean something to some of you. Anyways, searching, empowerment, and fulfillment. What are we not walking away from? What are we clinging on to? That's an emotion connected to fear, lack of forgiveness, that is keeping us stuck and in procrastination, overanalyzation, and to clinging on to that branch for dear life and saying, I can't. You can, but it's coming out in the reverse, suggesting that this is not something that you've allowed yourself to look at. You haven't found that sense of empowerment and fulfillment as of yet, but you're being called to really give yourself over to this. You know, yeah, we're needing to emotionally walk away from this energy up here. Overthinking, trusting yourself again, believing in your divinity, because I feel a lot of strong divine connection for you. And it's going to be especially potent right now. And, you know, I will say, I feel like that's going to carry you forward to that full moon energy up here. So like a 2-week arc. And we're going to be moving into the full moon in Cancer, which is water energy. For some reason, for my group 2s, I feel like that's going to be important. Yes. Okay. Let's pull some moon cards here. But you are protected. Now is the time to keep going and staying prepared, trusting yourself, emotionally disconnecting from these blocks, from the fear. Look at the front of that card. I know myself deeply and find myself worthy. Yep. Insecurities can be massively highlighted under this new moon as well. So keep that in mind. If it comes to the surface, it's not coming to the surface to keep you held back, stuck, or in fear. It's coming to the surface for release, so that you can look at it, say, thanks for sharing, no more, I'm done with you. You're not helping me, you're keeping me stuck, and I am stronger than that, and I am worthy. You are. So remind yourself of that. Use it as an affirmation. I know myself deeply and find myself worthy. And there's another image of two people on the front. There's definitely something in love and relationship here for some of you. Maybe you're afraid to take the next step in a commitment, to move in with that person, or even to just put yourself out there again. But it's almost like for some of you, you've manifested this partner. They're showing up for a reason, but now it's evoking fear, potentially. I don't know, strange. Definitely two messages here. I choose to nourish myself and enrich my life. That feeling of allowing love in, joy, connection, passion, excitement, but blocking ourselves from it, almost like we don't deserve it. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy over here. So look at those stories and narrative. I choose to nourish myself and enrich my life. And really the only way to do that is we have to get out of our comfort zone. We have to stretch. We have to evolve. We have to let go. Because there is no growth in an ordinary, mundane life and always playing it safe. And for whatever reason, your message really makes me feel like that's something that you have to remind yourself of. Because you've been doing hard work, whether this is on yourself emotionally or in a career or by way of moving towards a relationship or up leveling. You've been doing your work, and now is not the time to stop, because your ability to manifest and bring things in that are meant to be for you, whether again it's a person, a career, a passion project, it's all coming. It's all going to be showing up. And I really think that 2-week arc from this new moon to the full moon is going to bring something to fruition. All right, let me just cap this off with a final message. I went with the animal cards because Sagittarian energy is very connected to the animal kingdom. So that just felt right. Ooh, I thought those were going to fall out, but no. My apologies for the sniffing and the coughing. I'm starting to think I'm getting a bit of a cold. Hopefully not. Cat and independence. You are being encouraged to develop balance between independence and time of togetherness. This also indicates that you would greatly benefit from a profound journey of self-discovery. Learn to enjoy the time spent with yourself. Interesting, but we've got so much connective energy up here too. So yes, where's the imbalance? Do you get hyper-focused on your independence and forget about your connections and how important that is? Or do we get hyper-focused on connection and forget about how strong we actually are to stand on our own 2 feet? Which side of the coin do you fall on here, message to? Because there's definitely duality here in your message, because I feel like there's something with relationship and there's also something with trusting ourselves and passion. Yeah, cat energy. Cats are also very intuitive, and we've got so much of that energy here with the Empress and the High Priestess, able to bridge worlds, able to connect to the subtle energies that most people can't see, and you can too. And I really feel like the opportunity to do just that is going to fall under this lunation for you guys. So maybe just a little bit of meditation, journaling, something. Calling in spirit. I feel like it's really going to help highlight and show you some things that you've potentially been holding on to that are keeping you stuck and in fear. And then all of a sudden things start to unstick, right? That meant to be energy gets ushered in. Your manifesting ability really amplifies. Remember, over that 2-week arc, I can't let that go for you guys. But I'm going to leave that there. And I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. Take care, guys. Hello to all my beautiful message 3s. I went ahead and pulled the main overarching energies just to save a little bit of time in the video, but we will look at them together. Commitment. Okay. Accept a position that helps you build lasting security, long-term stability. Wow. And then we've got rings on there. So this could be either or. And in my intro, I did talk about how this is sort of like this energy, this new moon is about renovating our commitment to ourselves, to what we really want, to the things that we want moving forward for 2026. And so massively highlighting that energy for you under this lunation. Accept a position that helps you build lasting security, long-term stability. Wow. But then with those rings. So we'll see what else comes out with that. Very curious. So definitely there's an either or here. For some of you, this is going to be in love, I really think. And for others, this is in saying yes to something that comes your way that will bring in more security, even if it scares you a little bit. And because it's being highlighted, it might scare you a little bit. Communicate. Okay. So this has been something that would be more difficult for you as of late. Maybe you're having trouble communicating what it is you want, or the communication that you've been receiving around something has been a little bit all over the place or not entirely clear. But because we're speaking to you and making a commitment to something and saying, highlighting rather that this is going to build something long lasting, there's probably some fear. So you might need to communicate something, or you feel like you're lacking some sort of knowledge or wisdom. It also could be that within this thing that you're being asked to commit to, you need to communicate all your thoughts, your fears, your worries around it, the concerns. You need to express yourself, what it needs to look like for you and what you truly want. It might even be for some of you, you're going to be asked to communicate and express your expectations. Like for some of you, maybe like, this is what I want it to look like. This is the salary I expect. Advocating for yourself comes to my mind. Ooh, okay, slow it down. Moonstone energy. Slow it down. So taking our time to make this decision, to get clear. What am I committing to? What am I afraid of? What do I need to speak and communicate? What needs to be expressed to get things moving in this direction? What do I need to ask for? I can't shake that. I feel like some of you need to speak up and ask for something, or express a desire, a want, an expectation, something along those lines. Slow it down. I feel like maybe you have a really fast moving mind right now too. Like your mind's probably just on overdrive right now. So there's something about that I feel like you guys could really benefit from. Like you don't have to rush. But I also think it, more metaphorically speaking, your mind's just going a mile a minute. Okay. Let's pull some more cards here for you guys. Let's pull a surrender card. What do my beautiful message threes need to release, let go of, surrender? Okay, we've got 2 cards that fell out here. All right, we'll go with that. Slow it down. You definitely have a really loud mind right now. It says surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Yeah. It almost makes me feel like maybe some of you have been having some anxiety as well. Right? And anxiety is always connected to what we can't predict for the future, what we can't see when we don't have certainty. There's something to that here. But either way, you're being asked to slow it down, calm your mind and all the noise, all the mental chatter, and go within. As it says, silence can heal and replenish you. Ooh. Okay. Surrendered your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Oof. Message 3, commitment. Stability that wants to come in. Somebody good. Or you're already in a relationship that maybe you're overthinking and second guessing, because we need to communicate some things, maybe even our fears and what holds us back, the things that are concerning us. It's time to express, but first slow your mind down, clear yourself. Surrender to that silence that has so much to say. We can hear so much in our silence, right? It feels like spirit wants to come in and tell you a few things or show you a few things. Either way, fear of commitment, making a firm decision, whether this is in love, and it's definitely in love for some of you, or a new position, job situation. Fear is blocking this fear of that commitment and what it's all going to mean moving forward. So much of this energy is being highlighted under this lunation. And it makes sense because Sagittarius wants us to just go for it. It wants us to act. It wants us to be spontaneous and say yes. But it's that energy of those insecurities all come up to the surface, causing us to not go forth, to not follow our heart. And I feel like that's a big thing here for you guys. Okay. Let's pull a dragon card to connect into that fiery Sagittarius energy. And, because it is Sagittarian energy, something will expand as a result of you making this commitment, whether it's a family situation or your money situation. It's very expansive. I keep feeling that for you guys. Orange Dragon. Bring soul families and communities together. Spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. Wow. This came up, I think it was message 1. So yeah, something that needs to be expressed, something on the home front potentially, or even in a situation or a position that you're already currently in. You might be the one that's going to lead the charge in this. It definitely looks like that. Either way, you are meant to be the heart-centered person that brings in beautiful energy, but there's that fear, right? So not only just intimacy for some of you, but being heart-centered and vulnerable is acting as a block. There's some sort of block there. But yeah, spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. Bring soul families and communities together. I think some of you are about to connect to new people. And you're meant to be very open-hearted and vulnerable when you do, especially if it's like a new love for some of you coming in. But I even think if it's in taking a position, don't show up rigid or shut down or with too many walls around you. Show up as open and vulnerably as you can. This is how you're going to bring everybody together, especially on a career front, I think. Which, you wouldn't normally say. Normally you would be thinking more along the lines of being very professional and stoic and almost cold sometimes. It feels like the opposite of that is going to be needed for some of you in a new situation. Open-hearted communication. Just like message 2, there's 2 messages here. Some of you, it's about love and intimacy, taking a connection to the next level or allowing a new love to come in. But we're fearing that. We're fearing being open to that. But usually if that's the case, for any of you that are single out there, this would be your heads up that you might block this and you don't want to be doing that because there's stability here, long-term stability. There is a lot of love planets connecting to this lunation over the next couple of weeks as well, highlighting relationships. So there's definitely opportunity here for some of you that are single to meet a new person or to up-level an existing relationship. We've got the moon in reverse. Okay, so we really need to hook in and connect to our intuition. Our mind is way too loud right now because it's coming out in the reverse, suggesting that that's what needs to happen. I also think maybe some of you maybe you disregarded or just pushed aside something that came through, an intuitive hit, a wisdom and understanding. But we've got surrender to silence. And normally when the moon's upright like this, intuition, illusion, and revelation, when it's upright like this, we're kind of running an illusion on ourselves. We're not feeling like we've had anything revelatory, but we need that. We need that intuition. It's reversed. So this opportunity is very, very much available to you at this time under this lunation to receive answers, to feel like we're being revealed to understand ourselves better. 5 of water. Okay. And it's in the reverse. So upright like this, we've got disappointment, regret, and forgiveness. We're being asked to move out of this energy. There's old emotional energy here that has acted as a major block, that has brought about fear and pain of some sort. But we're still acting somewhat from this energy right now here, message 3. And definitely being highlighted, it's time to disconnect from that. Surrender our fear of intimacy. Surrender to the silence. Allow our mind to go quiet so that we can really hear what Spirit's trying to tell us. Knight of Air in the reverse. Intellectual, determined, and motivated. Okay. So that's that energy of cutting through the noise, right? We need to cut through the noise and really be clear. Finding balance between our heart and head. This is definitely something that would benefit you guys. I know that's really easy for me to say and very hard to do. But we've lost a bit of this energy, right? Under this decisiveness, right? And air energy is very much connected to choice and deciding. And we need to get back to that. Yeah. But too much noise. And we're having a really hard time cutting through it right now here. My message 3s are. Ooh, we've got another knight. Look at this. Knight of Fire, confident, passionate, and adventurous. And look, this is like a man running in. His heart is lit up. And he's carrying, what is he carrying? I think it's flowers. Yeah, it's like something passionate coming in for some of you. Whether this is a passion project, a passionate, creative new position, or a love, it's coming your way. But we need to cut through all the mental noise. We need to slow our minds down, get clear, get quiet, understand our fears around vulnerability, being open, leading, accepting, and then also accepting that love. So many things going on for you guys. Okay, 7 of fire, and we're coming out of this. So challenge, determination, and resistance. Upright like this, it's sort of highlighting what would be coming, but it's reversed. It's kind of saying this harder energy that you've had to deal with, that you've been in, pain, frustration, hardship, that's all coming to an end. It's all come to a close, but we're still living from that trauma, that pain. We're still operating from that kind of a system, but it's so massively being highlighted here that you are free to let this go now. The hard part is over and behind you. Beautiful new things, positions of leadership, of abundance, of love, all coming your way. We need to be ready for it, though. We need to slow our minds down and get really clear and say yes to things that we know are good for us, even if it scares us a little bit. Lots of offer and opportunity coming your way. And it's funny because we've got like fire, we've got the fire and water energy here that are really sticking out to me with that 5 of water in reverse. But then, you know, lots of mental energy here too getting in the way. So there's definitely like a discombobulation of your energy field. I think it would really be beneficial for my group 3s to do an alignment meditation. And I mean, it doesn't have to be long or drawn out, but finding a way to balance your chakras and clear them, I think will help usher in this intuition and revelatory energy much quicker to help you see. It's almost like helping you to see the light, see things through a different lens, helping you to push forward and move forward towards some kind of new opportunity and new beginning where we really quieted the fear. And remember, we're needing to express over here too. We're needing to really communicate how we're feeling, what we want. Okay. I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. Yeah. You're being sent beautiful things and beautiful opportunities, but there's all this fear, right? Which seems to be showing up in the entirety of all of these messages so far. It's about finally letting go of the fear, releasing that final push to let go so that we're not taking this forward with us into 2026. Really big message here for you guys. Beautiful things want to show up, but we've got some fears that are blocking it. We're lacking in expression and communicating our thoughts, our feelings, our needs. Need to be doing that more and quieting the mind. I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. And responsive, right? All the more reason to surrender to that silence back here, giving yourself a little bit of a timeout. Because I think your ability to be that receiver and get those divine messaging, that divine message, that's what I'm trying to say. My goodness, is going to be amplified under this lunation. That's what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way. Nice. I accept renewal and delight in fresh starts. This is so connected to long-term stability, accepting something new, saying yes to yourself. I accept renewal and delight in fresh starts. Yeah. There's a lot of this energy showing up of clinging to the old for fear that. And you, message 3, are also no exception to that energy showing up here for you. And the opportunity for you is here to do just that, to release, to let go, and say yes to beautiful new energy being ushered in your way. All right, let's cap this off with a final message from the animal kingdom here. Sagittarian energy is very connected to the animal realm, so I felt like that was a good kind of card to pull for the end here. There's a lot of like, say yes to yourself here too. Trust yourself. Believe you've got it. Time to get rid of that old operating system. Like the worst is really behind you, even if your body's telling you something different. And I think it is. It doesn't feel like that in your body. Look at that, frog and transition. And frogs are connected to cleansing and healing out old. This is a powerful time of change. You are being called to connect with the world of emotions and feminine energies. You may also need to engage a process of cleansing, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, or energetic. Yeah. Yep. Massive healing energy in that silence, a realignment of your body, mind, and soul is going to usher in a beautiful new energy and people, situations, an opportunity for all kinds of stability, love, and abundance. But we got to cleanse this out first. We've got to let go. Yeah. You're being called to connect with the world of emotions and feminine energies. And boy, does that ever show up here with that moon energy coming out first, and the 5 of water with emotional heaviness, pain, regret. Give yourself over to this. I think you'll be surprised at how empowering this will be for you if you allow. You're in a time of transition that is tricky, but for you, it's a beautiful transition that wants to take you out of hard, heavy energy into much lighter, softer, more connected energy. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. Take care, guys. Hello, message 4. As I normally do, I went ahead and pulled the main overarching energies just to save a little bit of time in the video, but we will look at them together. Ooh, bountiful career. Keep growing in knowledge and plant your ideas. Convert seeds to profits. Wow. I love that. That's nice. New moon and Sagittarian energy is so good for planting new seeds of intention. So there is something that you're doing or inspiration that you've had, something that you want to cultivate that's creative and inspired, whether it's come or it's about to come, you are meant to do something with it. It's going to bring something of prosperity and abundance your way. Bountiful career. Keep growing in knowledge and plant your ideas. Yeah, so don't sit on these inspirations and ideas. Do something with them. Small actions can lead to big results when we continue to take them, one step at a time, and we don't let ourselves off the hook. Convert seeds into profits. Yeah, take those ideas and do something with it. Run with them. You've connected to something really good for yourself. Night moon shadow work. Okay. All right, so here's what likely acts as a block to you doing just this, rather than just having all these brilliant and amazing ideas. Maybe we sit on them far too much. We don't trust them. There's something in your shadow self that needs to be understood and released so that it doesn't keep and continue to act as a block to something that wants to be brought your way by way of prosperity and profit, right? Convert seeds to profits. Some idea you have will bring in abundance and financial prosperity. But there's a shadowy part of yourself that says, no, I can't have that. That's not for me. That's not possible. Healing moon, seek healing. Yep. So there's something in your shadow that blocks. It might be a lack mentality. I see that a lot when people need to heal out something in their shadow side where they don't trust the ideas that they have and the way that they get inspired because we can't see how it's all going to work out. Or even how to start to go creating a thing that will eventually bring in profit. I feel like it has to do with a issue with our connection to money and finances. There's some sort of lack mentality, and that could be a thing for some of you. I definitely am feeling that. And it's usually rooted in our childhood, right? We get told things like money doesn't grow on trees, do the smart thing, seek the safe and stable job, the 9-to-5 that you hate, that covers your bills, but there's nothing fulfilling about it and there's not a lot of growth. A lot of that gets passed on to us by our parents, right? They're well-meaning, but it's not necessarily the right kind of energy for us to be following, but we get stuck in it. That money doesn't grow on trees. I'm definitely feeling like some of you might have a lack energy here. Also, this can connect to self-worth. If we don't feel worthy of the dreams and ideas that we have, and we don't trust in our ability to cultivate them, that could be another thing that's in the shadow. Risk taking too comes to my mind for my group 4s. Maybe being a little bit risk averse. I'm afraid to take those risks because what if everything goes sideways and I lose out, and that kind of energies here as well for some of you. Okay, surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate is a more empowered way. Stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Okay, so there could be something that you're in someone that you're bumping up against. Your passion, your inspiration, your ideas don't match theirs, and it's creating some sort of dissonance or just issue with things moving forward. So perhaps you're dealing with somebody else's shadow. Right? Their shadow is bumping up against your light, and we're getting defensive. We're ready to fight for what we want. And sometimes that's necessary, but this is highlighting that it's not at this time. It's not the best way to go forward. And then we've got on the bottom, surrender stubbornness. So you may be a very strong person. I definitely get leadership ability type A, perhaps. So really can dig your heels in and get defensive and fight the good fight. And again, that can be a really good thing sometimes, but not if it's stopping progress. Not if it means that we're not able to get things moving and convert those seeds into profits. Because we've got these two things here. Also, because we've got that defensiveness, and on the bottom of here was stubbornness. Maybe for some of you, your shadow has to do with lack of control in childhood. Things were so out of control, so out of hand, that you had to become that type A that could fix everything, do everything, make decisions, be strong all the time. And that can bring about this harder, heavier energy that you don't even realize we're operating. Well, I just need to have the control here, because if I let go of control, everything goes sideways. It's not safe. There's a lot of deep programming I'm feeling coming through here for some of my group 4s. And you'll know which makes the most sense for you based on what you've been through in your life. Golden Orange Dragon expands your light for ascension. Be a peaceful warrior. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. And then there's all these papers here, writing. So maybe some of you are trying to do something with writing. It doesn't have to be, but I was just noticing that right away. It could be that you're meant to journal out some of the things that you're feeling, some of those heavier, harder energies, or your creative ideas, so that you don't lose sight of them and you can start moving on them. It could be a lot of things. But either way, we're surrendering defensiveness and stubbornness, and we're showing up as a peaceful warrior. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. Yeah. Sometimes we're feeling like we got to fight the good fight because things are going sideways or they've been difficult. But there's some sort of energy within you where that's not necessarily needed. You are entirely capable of being a peaceful warrior. And your light wants to expand. Your magnificence wants to expand at this time. And it's like ascending. It's bringing you to much bigger and brighter and more beautiful things. And this has, too, which I haven't really talked too much about, keep growing in knowledge. So you're attaining some kind of wisdom with this light coming through that you're meant to do something with. So if you get ideas and inspired with maybe ways to solve a problem, to bring in healing around a situation, for some of you, because I definitely think maybe some of you have been dealing with a hard situation, follow it, trust it. Don't just make a mental note of it. I feel like do something with it. King of Fire, inspirational, charismatic, and innovative. That's you. This is what you have. Now it's coming on the side of challenge, but I feel like it makes so sense with being a peaceful warrior and helping those, being a leader of sorts that's got their heart open and their passion ignited, listening to everybody, right? Definitely a big ask for you at this time, because you are naturally the King of Fire energy. Message 4. Ooh, transformation, realization, life change, and liberation. So something wants to come through that's going to bring in this Tower moment. A big shift and a big change. The old, let's gets let go of. We understand, we've healed something out. We understand the shadowy piece, and it's igniting and activating, right? Expands our light and ascension. We start to see how these seeds are going to become something of abundance and prosperity for us. And even how to heal a situation that you're in. I keep coming back to that. I feel like some of you have had to deal with hard people and situations, that bumping heads, ideas not aligning, or something to that effect. Look at this under bountiful career, goals, expansion, and vision. 3 of fire, it's time to act, it's time to move on them. But making sure that you have dotted I's, crossed T's, but even more so that anybody who's got to be on board with you is understanding what the vision is and being heard and listened to, because it does feel like it could be a group thing for some of you. Goals, expansion, and vision, yet moving forward. Really, really, really happening for you guys. Big shifts, big changes for the positive. Look at this wise counselor. Belonging, learning, and traditions. Keep growing in knowledge. Wise counselor. I think this is you. And when we're leaders, when there's leadership energy, type A personalities, they get stuff done. They know what to do. They're on point. They're hustly and bustly in the best possible way. But in that, we can hold really tight to control and get defensive and frustrated. And I feel like there's a big message here asking you to soften that part of your energy, to look at the parts of you that are in your shadow that maybe hold on too tightly to control, or something with lack that could be keeping the situation from growing as fast as it could and not acting or whatever, in whatever way. Because you're this wise counselor energy, that king of fire, belonging, learning, and tradition. I feel like it's you, that wise sage. You do have the answers, but we can still bring in other people's ideas and interweave them in a way where it kind of placates any harder energy that you might be dealing with. Because again, I can't seem to shake that for you guys. Ace of air. Okay. So a bit of a heads up. So this says inspiration, communication, and adjustments. Upright like this, we're receiving that, we're understanding that, we're clear on what needs to happen, right? We've cut through the noise, but it's in the reverse. All the more reason to come back to what I initially said. There is wisdom, there is knowledge available to you. Listening to everybody else brings this situation into a beautiful balance, brings in that energy of profit and activation. Wisdom followed. So really be mindful of that. I feel like there's something else with this seek healing energy. You know, I feel like maybe some of you need an alignment. I mentioned this in one of the other messages, and it makes so much sense with this being the last new moon of the year, really trying to get us ready for 2026, having us dissolve old narratives. I feel like there's something to that here for you guys. So Reiki healing comes to my mind for whatever reason. Some of you can really benefit from some Reiki healing. I think it'll help you cut through the noise and the frustration and the heavy energy and bring in this wisdom, this knowledge, this energy behind, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to expand. I'm going to follow the vision. Everything's about to really be shaken up and transformed. Okay, we're going to pull some moon cards here. That's the front of the card there. Northern Lights. I accept and create more flow and pleasure in my life. Yeah. Rigid thinking, right? When we are type A and we're making it happen and we're go, do, sometimes we can't allow new things to come through. That wisdom, creativity, inspiration, the idea, the knowledge that we need. And I feel like that's what this is speaking to. I accept and create more flow and pleasure in my life. And I say it all the time. But when we're more relaxed, we're more open spiritually, and we're more connected to our intuition because our energy's not all locked up and all buzzy with like anxiousness and that feeling of having to be constantly doing. So just something to keep in mind. There's the front of that card. We've got that word flow again. I flow towards my goal. I am strongly protected as I go. I accept and create more flow and pleasure in my life, and I flow towards my goal. I am strongly protected as I go. You are definitely safe to move forward with something. You are being activated. Your light is expanding. You are meant to show up in this situation as a peaceful warrior, as that wise counselor, and allow for adjustments. So any rigid thinking, any defensiveness that we're holding on to, any stubbornness that keeps us from seeing something that's going to bring in that transformative energy of change and abundance, we want to release ourselves from that. We want to do the hard stuff. We want to do that shadow work and healing. All right, let's cap this off with a final message from the animal kingdom. Sagittarius energy is very connected to the animal realm and pets and things of that nature. So I thought it was befitting to pick a Sagittarius card, or an animal card rather. I tend to think of, when I do readings with animal cards, I tend to always think of Virgo energy and Sagittarius energy. Adventure, Cardinal. You need to live up to your fullest potential, explore new directions, and take risks in order to grow as an individual. Change may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. And then we've got that tower moment there. It's time to shake it up. It's time to release ourselves from what we think things are should be, go with the flow more, and allow this change to happen, because it's going to bring in a bountiful career, expansion, financial abundance, and growth. Beautiful things. I almost feel like some of you are going to start seeing cardinals everywhere, whether it's out in the physical world or online or something. I feel like it's going to be like a champion kind of energy, almost like the angels are trying to get your attention, because cardinals always sound like they're cheering with the way that they cheep, like cheering you on, time to go, do, be, with that red color as well. Yeah, so pay attention if they show up in your life. If you start noticing them, I feel like it's the angels trying to get your attention. Time to take risks. And I think I mentioned that in my intro about Sagittarius energy in general. It wants us to take risks. It wants us to trust ourselves, to take calculated risks, to have a better future. That's a big energy here as well for my message for us. But remember, you guys are that king of fire. You have that wise sage counselor type energy within you. It wants to expand in by way of a peaceful warrior, where you're following the nudges, where you're acting on them, where you're saying yes to something new and allowing major transformation to come in through the harder aspects of shadow work and healing. All right. I don't think there's much more I need to say there, so I will leave that there, and I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. Take care, guys.